Pick a move in the ring. You can hit me with a word you fling.
All right, what's up, everyone? It's Nick Atkin here, South China Morning Post, SCMP Martial Arts, back in Hong Kong after a very busy week in Bangkok. Got the main man himself, Chatri Sityodtong, the CEO and chairman of One Championship, here to break down the event. First of all, Chatri, how are you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Back in Hong Kong, very cold here. I think I'd rather be in Thailand for the weather. But you're
quarantine anymore, so you must be happy.
Yeah, no quarantine. Are you back in Singapore then briefly? You're gonna head back to Bangkok for Lumpinee Friday?
Yeah, I'm heading back to Thailand tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, very big week for One Championship. The first One Lumpinee show on Friday, which we'll get to in a minute. But I just wanted to catch up with you, Chatri, because I didn't get to interview you after the show on Saturday. You're a very busy man, had to head off. So, yeah, I just want to get your thoughts on some of the fights. I guess where to start. We can only start in one place. Beautiful tribute by yourself to Victoria Lee, who tragically died last month. And, I just wanted to say your speech was great and very moving. Just a very moving moment. What were your thoughts, reflecting on that whole, the tragedy we've had, and you happy to pay tribute to her, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course. I didn't have anything prepared or planned. I knew he was going to ask me about Victoria, but I didn't know I was going to address the stadium or the viewership around the world. I just spoke from the heart. And it's still rough. I just talked to over Messenger with Jules and Christian yesterday or the day before yesterday. I'm in daily contact with the family. I'm thinking now that January 13th is probably going to be Victoria Lee Day forever with One Championship. And we're just going to do it, again, Angela and I are figuring out a way to, is it a scholarship? Is it an award? What is it exactly that we want to communicate? But of course, the spirit of the legacy that Victoria left behind is one of kindness, selflessness, authenticity, generosity, and a desire to do good in the world. And that's something that we want to keep alive, and use our platform so that it echoes, and so that we're able to channel this pain, or I can help the family channel their pain into something that Victoria would be proud of, and something that would, her impact on the world is something she would have envisioned. That's kind of my mindset right now. That's kind of the latest.
Yeah, was very moving, the minute silence. I spoke to Demetrius Johnson as well in Fight Week, and he said, they don't have to come back, the Lees, to fighting, and, they have to take all the time they need. Is that something you're echoing to them as well? Nothing, no pressure to return?
Yeah, absolutely. On the thought has crossed my mind that it's possible that, Christian and I haven't spoken, so this is just pure conjecture, but I've thought of all the different scenarios, and I've thought at a minimum, they're not going to fight for a long, long time. And possibly, they may later on choose to walk away from everything. I have no idea, right? They close. I don't know if it's true or not. I haven't asked, but I've heard that the United MMA is closed down. But again, I don't know if that's rumors or whatnot. It's been reported by the media. I have not asked, the family. Really, our conversations have been very sharply focused on Victoria, her legacy, just, again, sending love and prayers to them. And so haven't really thought beyond that. But of course, the thought did cross my mind that how, if I was a father and I was their coach, how could I ever return, And then I thought of, if I'm an older sibling, you can take it one of two ways. One is that it inspires you even more, so that you can continue your legacy. But there's also a path where they just say, you know what, it's just we're done, right? So I have no idea. And again, this is all conjecture. I don't want to put words in their mouth, so please don't write Chatri says they're quitting or something. Please don't say something that would inflame the situation, because I want to give a lot of respect and courtesy to and grace to the Lee family. So I have no idea, but of course, I think it's safe to say they're not going to fight for a long, long time.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't ask. I'm just assuming. I'm assuming. It's my own assumption.
Yeah, we got to give them all the time, and hopefully one day we can see them back. But if they don't want to, it's fully understandable. I do want to ask you some other things from the show. There were a lot of other big events coming out of it. I guess that main event, Chatri Superbon, getting knocked out by Chingiz Alazov, second round. A lot of people were surprised. I personally thought it was going to go to a decision. What was your reaction to that?
Obviously hindsight's 2020. Going into it, I knew that Chingiz was the faster, more explosive fighter. But I assumed that, Superbon has very high ring IQ, very intelligent in terms of setting up game plans, finding his opponent's tendencies, and counterattacking off those tendencies. But after the first minute or two, I was like, this guy, Chingiz, was too fast. And even his counterattacks, if Superbon went first, he was there already answering pop, 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 2 or 3. I don't know if you would notice it. He would change angles, so he'd change levels. He would change up, he'd throw a question mark kick. He just did a lot of weird things that he's never really done before, And so I think after the first round, I think I might have said that to whoever was next to me, that, hey, man, if this goes on further, I think the fight's going to end. He's too fast, and he has no pattern recognition. He wasn't throwing any repeat patterns that Superbon could pick up on. So then I was like, wow, this is a really new and improved Chingiz. But of course, I was very surprised I knocked out Superbon. But although, in the past, if you look at Superbon's losses, it's always from punches, that's his one area of weakness. And so I think Chingiz had a game plan of throwing that overhand right the whole time. But the first round, he didn't. He did a lot of, linear stuff. He did a lot of kicks. He did a lot of weird things that, again, would make you distracted and not focus on that big punch. And Superbon, I don't know if you saw, he moved to his left, and then the overhand right came. It was almost kind of like, I can't remember. I think it was Dan Henderson and Bisping, that big overhand right punch, and Bisping was walking right into it. Same kind of feeling where Superbon was moving into it and Chingiz, threw it.
Yeah, crazy finish. And Chingiz now, he's got a lot of options, hasn't he? And there are a lot of, it feels like this title could just go on a merry-go-round in this division. There's so many.
Yeah, no, I think between Superbon, Chingiz, Giorgio, and possibly Marat, between those four, it's a game of inches. It's a game of not even. It's a hair on your head. One mistake and with any of these guys, and you're out, right? So it's possible that the belt goes around between these four guys. Because if I'm not mistaken, they've beaten each other as well. Giorgio has beaten Chingiz. Superbon has beaten Giorgio. Giorgio has beaten Marat. Superbon has beaten Marat. It's like this musical chairs.
Yeah, Sityodtong as well is staking his claim. Yes. I think he's also got a victory. So do you think he could be back in the mix?
I think Sityodtong, he fought brilliantly his last fight, but I just feel like of all those guys, he's the one that's kind of slowing down. His speed and his pattern recognition, his cardio, you could just see it's dropped a notch. So he could be on his down, or maybe just he was not feeling well. I don't know, since he joined one, but I feel like he's a little bit below those four that I just named. This division is pound for pound the greatest kickboxing division globally. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They are these 5 or 7, the top 5-7 guys in the featherweight division are just killers.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. Definitely. Chingiz also mentioned maybe fighting Reggie Ursel for the lightweight title. What do you think about that?
That's possible, but Rehan's also a wrecking machine. I think his body type is very dangerous because, when he throws a mid-level knee, that's somebody's face, because he's so tall and lanky, right? He doesn't have to aim for your face. He aims for his regular knee, it goes straight to your chest. It doesn't go to your stomach. He has to kind of bend over downwards kind of hunch downwards to throw a knee into your belly for his weight class, right? His basic mid-level knee is straight to your face. So imagine a featherweight, it's going to be even more different. So I don't know. I mean, maybe they see that Rehan, because he's taller, doesn't have as strong a chin as potentially, someone shorter and stockier with a bigger neck.
There was the co-main as well was a very there's some talking points coming out of that because Superlek's now the champ, and are you going to do the Rodtang fight? That's what Rodtang has called for. It seems like we're now going to finally get that one.
Yeah, I think it definitely makes sense. Of course, right now we are trying to figure out who the 16 athletes are for the open weight. So that obviously, of course, we want Rodtang and Superlek to fight, whether it's for the Muay Thai fight or title, for the kickboxing title. But we also have the consideration of open weight. Are one of those guys or both of those guys going to be in the open weight Grand Prix? I don't know yet. So we're obviously getting fan input from around the world. A bunch of athletes have come in from different organizations saying they want to be part of it. So we just got to figure out that in the next few weeks so that we can make an announcement by March, hopefully, and kick things off.
Yeah, we broke that news on the post that Alistair Overeem had contacted one, and he was there at cage side, circle side.
Yeah, it's funny because he did reach out to one. We did not invite him because we had no idea he was in Bangkok. So I know he put in his social media refuting that he had reached out. It's complete. I mean, it's BS. We had no idea he's in Thailand, and he reached out to us, and actually he reached out to Rick Audi to be very specific. And then they asked me, should we let Overeem come? I said, oh yeah, sure, why not? Let him come. So that's how it happened. I don't mean to make Alistair look bad, but no, Alistair, we did not invite you. We did not, again, I'm only reacting to his social media posts. He's saying we invited him.
Yeah, he seemed to indicate. Yeah, he indicated that he's only interested in staying in Glory, but would you want him in this Grand Prix if you could negotiate some sort of deal with Glory there?
No, again, so I don't want to call anyone for speaking half truths or whatever it is, but cage side, he told me point blank that his deal with Glory is non-exclusive. So I have no idea. So we did talk about it, but briefly, right? We were watching the fights mostly. Look, I have a lot of love and a lot of respect for Alistair for everything he's done for the sport. I'm actually a huge fan. I mean, I've watched him since, the K1 days and all that stuff and the Grand Prix when he was in Japan and stuff. So I have a lot of respect, but obviously I was a little bit, for him to say we invited him. No, we didn't. We didn't. We had no idea he's even in Thailand.
Well, anyone else you can reveal who's reached out to you from outside of one or anything, or just have there been any from who aren't in one who have contacted as well?
Yeah, no, there are a lot of fighters, but again, like I am not leading that process. I mean, obviously I will have the final say on the 16, but even my own personal, inbox on Facebook or Instagram has been flooded, right? So I think there's a lot of people, qualified and unqualified, who want to compete in it just because it's $1 million, right?
Yeah. And have you got any further updates on format in terms of, are we going to have a limit on weight classes? Is it going to be completely open-ended? A lot of people are wondering if we would see someone like Overeem against Rodtang, or is that just insane?
I think it's too early to say because, again, we are, for sure what we're looking for is the 16 best athletes. And they have to be, the best and in their prime. So I want to make sure that people understand fully that that's kind of the bar. Like, just because you're big and you're a champion, but if you aren't technically good, but you're just big, which there are, around the world, I'm not naming names, then you probably are not going to make the cut. But if you're highly technical and in the prime of your life and clearly, a very this is the funny thing. It happens with jiu-jitsu as well, and even MMA. The higher weight category you go up, the less technical they become, right? So if you take, let's say, bantamweight or featherweight or lightweight in any of the MMA organizations or any of the martial arts organizations, kickboxing or Muay Thai, whatever, those are where you have the guys who are the fastest, the most technical, the best technique, the most explosiveness, the best cardio. And as you go up, those attributes fall. And then it becomes, this guy's a big one-punch KO power, but has no cardio or no balance, or, he weighs 270 pounds and he walks like he has 2 feet, or she walks like she has 2 feet. But just because they're big, so we're not looking for those kind of like freak show with athletes where they are huge but have no technical ability. I think you understand from what I mean. I think K1 or one of those guys had those really huge guys, like that big tall Korean guy who was 7'6" and Alman Choi, right? Was completely useless. He was completely useless, but the only reason they put him in there was because he's 7'6" and 300 pounds. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for this open weight Grand Prix to be truly like, when you look at them, you're like, wow, these are the greatest strikers on the planet, irrespective of weight class. So
all right,
it will be hard to win. No matter who you are.
Could we see something similar in grappling? I posted this question to Mikey, and he said, "I'll do it for $1 million." Yeah, but would you like an open weight grappling tournament?
You never know. These things come up organically. Although we have been thinking about $1 million Muay Thai tournament for, let's say, 3-4 years, we just didn't have the right, moment and reason to do it.
Well, speaking of Mikey, I just heard that he broke his opponent's ankle and he tore his ACL, MCL, I think, and meniscus, Gantumur. He'll be out for 12 months. Do you think Gantumur should have just tapped instead of showing such
I heard from the doctors that Gantumur's injury was akin to a motorcycle accident where the knee completely detached, meaning that he completely ripped off his MCL, LCL, ACL, and meniscus. Like nothing was holding the knee together except muscle, and the ankle was broken. So it was, this doctor said from the hospital, it is a catastrophic injury that is potentially career ending. So I don't know if he's out for a year or if he's out forever. When you allow your knee to get broken and your ankle get broken in 9 ways a Sunday like that, and I've torn my ACL or MCL, like from rolling or from Muay Thai, but to let all of your ligaments tear, that's just crazy. Like, so, your knee, the ligaments, and obviously there's muscle to hold your knee into place, right? All those things are torn top and bottom, and your meniscus, which is the rubbery thing that keeps the bones from colliding, right? I mean, all of it's ripped off. Like, I don't know if you saw that photo. He has a full leg cast, like a full leg, So I don't think it was a wise move for him to not tap. But Mikey,
we put it on our Instagram, and he's just replied, "Maybe I will run in a month!" Exclamation point.
I don't think he fully understands. Yeah.
Yeah, I've torn my meniscus twice, and I was unable to do anything for a long time. Yeah. But I'm not a professional athlete, to be fair, but far from it. But we hope to see him back fighting, or would you give him a fight? He's naturally more of an MMA fighter, isn't he? I think he's 3-0 in MMA or something. Yeah,
no, happy to give him MMA fights and et cetera. But again, I'm more concerned right now for his health, and I wish he tapped. I mean, I spoke to Mikey afterwards. He said every angle, every attempt he did, he uses here more ligaments, more bones cracking and splitting apart. It was quite gruesome. It was quite gruesome. And again, the doctor described it at the hospital as akin to a motorcycle accident, where the leg catches. I mean, that's how bad the knee was.
Yeah. Well, wish him all the best recovery. The other big news, I think, from the week was all this drama with Stamp and Anissa Meksen. First of all, they're a great fight, and kudos to you guys for putting Supergirl and Stamp together. That was a great fight. Stamp got the decision. A lot of people think that Supergirl maybe won that fight. What was your take? Because I think the judges' scorecards were a little all over the place as well. How did you see it? You did give Stamp a bonus, of course.
Well, I would say that it was a super close fight, and if they had given it to Supergirl, I wouldn't have said it. I would, neither here nor there. I did think at the very end, actually, I was my brother was watching the fight from the U.S. and he's like, hey bro, I think Supergirl edged, and I said no, I think Stamp edged. This is before the judges came out with their thing, and he was just texting me. He's obviously a big fan, and I texted him, no, I think Stamp edged it out because that last round. And I did watch the fight over again. And here's the thing, Supergirl had unbelievable aggression and threw lots of strikes. But if you look at, did Stamp really get tagged or rocked at any point in any of those rounds? No. But if you looked at Stamp's counterattacks, might have been lower in volume, but she tagged her to the point where, the head snaps back, and they're just cleaner shots by Stamp, fewer, but cleaner shots overall, right? So the percentage, I'd love to see the company stat numbers, but I would say her, Stamp's accuracy, percentage hit rates on significant strikes was much higher than Supergirl. So I thought, again, and if you notice, every time Supergirl came in, Stamp tucked her chin in down and went for the counter, and textbook, like she just and clammed down and threw the leg kick and left hook, and so she never allowed herself to get rocked. So I think that was a big factor. Whereas Supergirl got rocked a few times. I don't remember, the second and third round, I believe. She got rocked a few times. Yeah,
and you did give Stamp the bonus. A lot of people were saying maybe we could have a fight of the night type thing in one now where both fighters get the bonus. Is that something you considered for this fight, or you would consider in the future? Because a lot of people thought Supergirl deserved a bonus as well for, stepping up and accepting this fight on short notice and the performance she gave.
Yeah, actually, in hindsight, I probably should give. I should have given both bonuses in hindsight. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that sentiment. I'm not saying that we would do it regularly. I'm just saying that. See, I prefer to focus on individual performance, because I feel like then you're individually motivated to put on the performance for your life. And then that automatically results in a fight for the fight of the night, rather. But yeah, I mean, it's something I would consider, and I agree with the sentiment out there that Supergirl probably should have gotten a bonus.
Yeah, well, can't wait to see her back. You want to do that Supergirl and Katarina Vandrieva rematch again? Katarina missed.
Definitely. I definitely want to do that fight. I think that's something that everyone wants to watch. It was a controversial victory. I thought Katarina won. I thought the judges got it wrong. I really genuinely thought Katarina won the first fight, and I was really looking forward to this fight. So it's unfortunate that Anissa couldn't make it to the fight with Stamp.
Yeah, so what's going on with Anissa? Because she said, she left because of a family problem, and she wasn't at the weigh-in, she didn't come, and I think she left Bangkok. Are you still going to do this interim title fight with Stamp? Stamp said to me after I think she would rather just fight Alicia or Janet Todd. What's going on in this?
So again, this is from Team Fairtex. I was not there, so I have no idea. Fairtex said that they saw that Anissa was 3 kilos overweight and then never showed up. I have no idea. I have no way of verifying that, but that's what Fairtex. And so they're very angry. So Stamp does not want to fight. So I did announce it because both of them had verbally agreed to it, a few hours earlier. And then after Team Fairtex discussed it, they're like, no, we don't want to fight Anissa because she was 3 kilos over. I'm not saying, by the way, I am not saying that Anissa was 3 kilos over or not. I was not there. I have no idea. That is what Fairtex is saying. Anissa is saying that it was a family issue or sickness issue. And so I have no way of saying yes or no. I wanted to make Anissa versus Stamp for the interim for the interim kickboxing title, but it takes two to tango. I don't think there is a suitable opponent if Stamp doesn't want to fight or Anissa doesn't want to fight. I just don't find. I don't want to take some random person for the title, for the interim title rather.
So it's likely we'll just see Alicia Rodriguez and Janet Todd unify the belts, and then maybe Stamp's going to fight the winner.
The plan originally was to have Anissa and Stamp fight for the interim belt, but Stamp refuses. She just said she refuses. She said if she wants to do a super fight, a mixed rules fight, she would be open to it, but she doesn't want to fight Anissa, at least today. Maybe should be less angry in a few weeks. I have no idea, right? But
yeah,
so it's hard to make fights if people, if one side or the other side doesn't want to give the other side the opportunity, right?
Yeah, and is there any frustration from you towards Anissa? Would you still give her a shot at Janet Todd that she's been calling for a while? How do you feel about that situation with her?
No, look, I think, like I said, I think Anissa is pound for pound the greatest female striker. Of course, we've never seen her against Janet Todd or Alicia, so that's a big question mark. But I'm talking about her historical track record, right, of success. I think Anissa's 34. I think so, around there.
I think so.
Yeah. There's a lot of moving parts. I need to sit down with the team and it takes two to tango, right? You need all the elements together. What I do find very interesting and why I'm interested in Anissa versus Stamp is there's genuine bad blood now, right? There's genuine heated emotion. And I always find that makes for better viewership and as long as you don't cross the lines like family and politics and religion and stuff like that, but as long as they're both sides have their beef and both sides have legitimate beef. And it went up a notch because Anissa was a no-show for the weigh-ins and for the fight. So I understand Stamp's perspective. I also understand Anissa's perspective. I'd love for them to meet. That's something.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. Well, yeah, we're coming up on a half hour. I don't want to keep you much longer. Just let's talk about Lumpinee quickly because huge first show. We got one Friday fights and then we got one Lumpinee, the first of the weekly shows at the famed Lumpinee Stadium. You'll be heading over there, I think you said tomorrow. So Nongo, Aliverdi Ramazanov, it's going to be a huge main event, isn't it? Going to be a great show.
Yes, no, it is. 12 fights and every week, just to clear up the confusion, there are no prelims. There is an international card, which is called One Friday Fights, which is focused on the international markets, our international broadcast partners, 179 countries around the world, which will then be a miniature version of our big flagship stadium product. One numbered events, 164 or whatever it is. It's a miniaturized version. So you're going to see kickboxing, you're going to see MMA, you're going to see Muay Thai, you're going to see grappling, and it's really focused on international. So you're going to see a lot of international athletes from around the world. So it's a miniature version of our big flagship, big stadium product, right? So I think it's just the talent level is going to be rising stars as opposed to the superstars that we have already in one. And then the Thai card is focused on the Thai market. Still going to be broadcast around the world, but it's going to be broadcast on our digital platforms around the world. But it's going to be very heavily Thai focused to entertain the Thai market, which is what, obviously Channel 7 is broadcasting. So hopefully that clears it up. We plan to broadcast all, both cards on our digital platforms every week. The only exceptions are countries where broadcasters bought all rights, TV rights and digital rights. Most countries have bought just the TV rights. So opening it up on our digital is going to be a big plus for fans. And even in Thailand, we'll be showcasing both cards on our digital platforms in conjunction with Channel 7's TV broadcast. And I think Channel 7 is also broadcasting it on their YouTube channel and their Facebook channel from my understanding. So it's basically going to be available everywhere. And that's a good news for all the Thai fans who are living in Thailand or international fans that live in Thailand, but also our broadcast partners around the world.
Yeah, very good news. There was a bit of confusion, so hopefully this can clear it up. So say if you're in the US, is it Prime Video that you go to or just YouTube, something like that?
No, if you're in the US, it is our digital platforms. But again, I don't want to. I can just tell you that multiple discussions are ongoing in the U.S. right now. Not necessarily with Amazon, but for the One Friday fights.
Okay. Well, I hope it goes well. And it's going to be a good show. Everyone check it out. Nongo. Do you think we're going to have a new champ, or we're going to see Ann Still?
I think Nongo is probably top 3, top 5 of all time in the sport of Muay Thai. I don't see. He's highly motivated. He's fighting in Lumpinee again for the first time, I think, in 7-8 years. He's super, super excited. Oliveira is very dangerous because he's unorthodox, and he does a lot of weird stuff. Like he'll cross his feet and throw a hook, or he will, walk right into with a 1, 2, 3, but with 3, being straight right, 3 straight rights or something. He just does a lot of weird combinations that it's very possible, in these small 4-ounce gloves, that he catches Nongo. He's the taller, lankier fighter. So I don't think it's an easy fight. Although Nongo was predicting a KO, I don't think it's an easy fight.
All right, yeah, and just my final one. But you did say that this is more the next generation of fighters we're going to see on the Friday fights cards. Does that mean we might get a return of some Asia shows, so to speak? The evening one championship cards that we were having, with those double headers.
So we are. Again, there's a lot of big announcements like that I'm holding on to right now. But yes, obviously, big Stadium Asia primetime cards are not gone. I have some big announcements to make in the next, few weeks or so.
Oh, I look forward to it. I'm sure everyone does. Chatri, thank you for speaking to me again. I know you've been a very, very busy guy, so I really appreciate the time. Always love talking martial arts with you.
Thank you so much, Nick. I appreciate it. Take care.
Yeah, see you later, mate.